Why is it that some people feel an instant sense of relief the moment they start organizing, while others feel stressed just looking at a messy room? Same room, same mess. Completely different reaction, and here's the surprising part. Both reactions come from the same place in the brain. Loving to organize isn't really about being neat, disciplined, or having your life together. It's about something much deeper: control. When life feels unpredictable, your brain looks for something it can control. And your environment is the fastest, most accessible option. Had a stressful day? Suddenly reorganizing a drawer feels calming. Folding clothes feels grounding. Wiping a counter feels oddly satisfying. That's not random. That's your nervous system trying to stabilize itself. Your brain is wired to seek patterns and predictability. When things feel chaotic internally, creating order externally sends a powerful signal. I can handle this. And science backs it up. Every time you complete a small organizing task, making your bed, clearing a surface, lining things up, your brain releases dopamine. Not the explosive kind. The quiet, steady kind. The kind that says, good job. You did something. At the same time, a tidy environment has been shown to reduce cortisol, the stress hormone. That lighter feeling after cleaning, that's not in your head. That's biology. But there's something even more interesting happening beneath the surface. Your subconscious treats your surroundings as a safety signal. Clutter isn't just visual. It's psychological. Every pile, every unfinished stack, every object without a place quietly whispers, unfinished, unresolved, still pending. For people who feel things intensely, that whisper turns into noise. So they don't organize to impress anyone. They organize to quiet the noise, to feel safe, to feel settled, to finally breathe. For others, organizing goes even deeper. It becomes self-expression. The home turns into a canvas. The way books are arranged, which objects are visible, where plants are placed, how a room flows. It's not about perfection, it's about alignment. The space starts to reflect how they want to feel: calm, intentional, clear. And for many people, the act itself becomes meditative. Sorting, sweeping, putting things where they belong. It's movement without chaos. Focus without pressure. Meditation without needing to sit still. Now here's the emotional part most people don't talk about. Organizing is often about letting go. Every item you release: old clothes, broken gadgets, unused gifts, is a tiny decision that says, I don't need this version of myself anymore. That's why decluttering can feel strangely heavy, even emotional. You're not just sorting objects. You're rewriting a story. Your surroundings are a mirror of your mind. A tidy space quietly says, you're capable. A chaotic one often says, you're overwhelmed. So cleaning becomes a way to change the internal conversation. Not by forcing positive thoughts, but by changing the environment those thoughts live in. Because organizing isn't really about objects. It's about choosing. This stays, this matters, this can go. Every shelf becomes a decision about how you want to feel. Clear, calm, intentional. And once you notice this pattern, you realize something important. The people who love organizing aren't obsessed with cleanliness. They're fluent in regulation. They've learned how to bring their nervous system back to baseline using the world around them. And that's where this gets really interesting. That urge to organize isn't about being productive. It's about restoring balance. When you're choosing where things go, you're reminding yourself that you still have agency. That not everything is random. That not everything is out of your hands. And this is why organizing feels especially powerful during periods of emotional overload. When you can't fix the big things, relationships, uncertainty, stress, you fix the small things. Not because they matter more, but because they respond. A drawer listens. A shelf cooperates. A room changes when you act. And that feedback loop matters. Psychologists call this perceived control. Even small, contained control can significantly reduce anxiety. It tells your nervous system, I'm not helpless. This is also why people who love organizing often feel deeply uncomfortable in chaotic environments that aren't theirs. It's not judgment. It's overstimulation. Their brain is constantly processing signals, and clutter sends too many at once. That's why a clean space feels like relief, not effort. Now let's talk about something subtle but important. Not everyone organizes for the same reason. Some people organize to calm down. Others organize to express themselves. Others organize because they're processing change. Moving house. Ending a relationship. Starting a new phase of life. Organizing becomes a ritual of transition. You're making room for what's next. And this is where people often misunderstand it. They think organizing is superficial, but for many, it's deeply emotional. Every object carries a memory, a version of you, a past expectation. Letting go isn't easy because it's not just physical, it's symbolic. That's why decluttering can bring up sadness, nostalgia, even grief. You're not mourning the item. You're mourning the version of yourself attached to it. And choosing to release it is an act of self-trust. It's saying, I don't need to hold on to this to be whole. This is also why people who love organizing often feel calmer afterward, not because the room looks better, but because their inner world feels quieter. Their environment stops asking questions, stops demanding attention, stops pulling at unfinished threads. The noise fades, and here's the key insight. People who love organizing aren't obsessed with order. They're attuned to alignment. They understand, maybe without consciously realizing it, that peace isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you build. One choice at a time, one surface at a time, one small act of care at a time. In a world that constantly pulls you outward, organizing pulls you back in. It's self-care that doesn't require motivation speeches or long explanations. It's regulation in motion. And if this resonates with you, it says something meaningful about who you are. You're someone who needs clarity to think clearly. You value intentionality over excess. You understand that your external world affects your internal one. You don't wait for calm to arrive. You create the conditions for it. So the next time you feel better after organizing, don't dismiss it as procrastination or perfectionism. That's your body, your brain, and your emotions aligning in real time. That's self-respect expressed through action. And if this video put words to something you've always felt but never articulated, the next ones go even deeper. They explore why certain people crave order, quiet, and structure in a world that glorifies chaos. Why some habits feel necessary rather than optional. And how your environment shapes your emotional life more than you've been told. You'll recognize yourself in them. I'll see you there.